Playdate Season 2 is finally here and it has a lot of cool games. So I'm gonna walk you through all these 12 games that have been released with the Season 2 and show you some gameplay. So there are a lot of cool games in this season, and we're gonna start with Fulcrum, I think, Defender, which is basically like a Vampire Survivors kind of game. So the very cool thing about Fulcrum Defender is that you have 3 difficulties. I love the games that offer difficulties, so you can just have different difficulties. So you basically just have to defend your circle, and there are some squares that are coming your way, and if they hit you, of course you're going to lose. Now the cool thing, this game uses the crank, and I think it's a very cool implementation of the crank. There are these white dots. These white dots will just take 1 hit to be destroyed, and there are also like black squares, not dots, black squares, and these black squares will actually need a couple of hits until you destroy them. So 1 hit will just push them back, and the other hit will just slowly destroy them until it's all gone. So the game has pretty simple mechanics. It's very easy to just get into and play. I'm not a fan of these type of games, but it's very cool. You can also track your high score. So our next game is going to be a fossil game. Yes, it's called Dig Dig Dino, and this game has some cool art, and I think it has some minor story here and there. First of all, you get greeted with this magazine that you have to just dig some dinosaurs bones and stuff. It's very cool that you can just go through this newspaper using the crank. This is your first experience with the game when it starts. It's not very difficult to play. This game also has a very good entry point. You basically have to click these places and you discover these fossils. So each time you're using the shovel and you're digging, you're actually using some charges, so you cannot go to every digging site and just continue digging everything. I think there is a lot of things to discover in this one. If you love this kind of games where you're digging, I think it's very cool that you can pass the time for this. Also, I'm not a big fan of this, but yeah, you can just find cool stuff, you can find trash stuff, and it's pretty, I think it's a very pretty cozy game, and it's very simplistic, so everybody can just grab this and play. You also have a place where it's like a workshop. You can upgrade your shovel to like a drill or something, which is, yeah, the art in this game is pretty cool. Also, these side characters, they look very cool. And you also have a place to check all the artifacts that you have dug through the game so far. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think the game has a lot to offer when it comes to playability. Like, there is a lot of levels. I'm just in the first level. Pretty cool. So the next game we have on the list is actually one of my favorite games so far in Season 2. It's called Sprung, and yeah, the game has a lot of beautiful characters, a lot of good art. So first of all, you can scroll through all this story using the crank, which is a really cool thing. So this game is very into the story thing. It's like basically a kid who loves, I think, peanuts or something. I don't know. It's a very bizarre thing, but the artwork is really beautiful, and it shines on the Playdate. So why this game is cool? So I can find myself just playing this for like, I was playing this for hours, and it starts very simplistic. You have to get from one location to another location by balancing the bike. And basically you don't need your head to be, your head shouldn't hit the floor. And yeah, as soon as you start playing this one level after another, it gets pretty addicting, and it's very beautiful. And you can also turn your bike the other way around, so you can, so not all the puzzles are on the same directions. This game is very addicting and has a very cool story, and yeah, it's one of my favorite games on the Season 2. So the next game is a game that I didn't expect to find this genre on the Playdate. It's called Whiteout, and this is basically like a mature game. So as soon as you start, it will tell you that this content is made for like adults. I think it has a lot of adult themes like death and stuff. Yeah, I'm not very big fan of this game. This game reminds me, one of these like Symbian old Nokia games. Somehow it has that reminiscence. It's very basic, but at the same time it has very cool graphics. So you're basically this man, I think, who's stranded in snow, and you have to like find these puzzle things. The first mature thing you find, like, I think somebody's freezing or dying in the car. You need to grab a lot of things. Well, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan of this game, but I think for people to want to enjoy some mature content, maybe this could be your game. Maybe it's something you can enjoy. So our next cool game is actually one of my favorite genre kind of game. So it's called Auto Galactic Groove, and it's a game that is similar to the trombone game on PC. It's very similar, but the soundtrack and the artwork is pretty beautiful in this one. I've noticed that most of season 2 games have like some kind of depth, some kind of story. So basically this is like a music producer who sends his alien uh, to get him some inspiration, some ideas to make his track. It's not very difficult. You have to hit the button, the D-pad, as soon as you get these notes, and you hold it for the long notes. Very simple to, I think, trombone game that everybody plays. You also use the crank to move the dot so you can hit all of these. It gets more difficult, and it gets I think more rewarding as you play. The very cool thing about this game is that the soundtrack is actually really cool. And yeah, when the game starts, you basically go to different planets and you try to get different inspirations for the artist that you're working with. And yeah, the game is pretty cool actually. It's a very cool game to play, and it's very fun if you love rhythm games. So this next game is a very cool, and it's really one of my favorite games, called Lung Puppy. It's very weird, but it's very cool game. It uses, I think, all the gimmicks, as you say, or controls that the Playdates offer. It has cool art, and you basically a dog that your owner is basically throwing the ball away and telling you to fetch the ball, bring the ball. It's very cool. So you extend yourself and you shrink yourself, and you basically have to eat all this food before you're able to reach the ball that the trainer just threw away. And it gets really cool. You have to move the head with the crank, you have to go fetch the ball, and once you fetch the ball, you have to send it back to the owner, which is pretty cool. And one of the weirdest thing is that when you finish all of this, you have to actually poop all the food out. Yes, there's a poop mechanic in this game. Pretty cool. The next game is called Shadowgate PD, which is, I think, Playdate edition. Well, this is, for me, is the worst game on the Playdate season 2. I don't know. I think this game was, designed for computer back in the day. This is like a remake, or I don't know, something like that. But I don't like this very simplistic point-and-click game. Not a big fan of the art itself. It gets quite boring. The next game is called Diablos, which is a game that is a little bit. It has very cool art. Yeah, the artwork is really cool, and it has some kind of cool mechanics as well. So you basically have to make these circles, and you can only move in circles. The cool thing that you can move in a half circle, then start the other circle. And basically think of this like it's a creature collecting game with some kind of boss battles and some kind of story. There is a story, I think. So you go to these different planets, and you basically have to catch these Diablos, demons, or some kind of creatures. And the way to do that is you have to circle them, keep them in circle, and then you destroy them. And as soon as you do that, you grab some power-ups. There are all sort of different, demons to collect. Pretty cool. I've reached the first boss, I think, in the first level, which is, I couldn't beat it. I don't know what happened. So the first time I circle the boss, it gets destroyed. One of the flames went away, and when I tried to do the same thing over and over, I couldn't do it. So the game, I think, is pretty cool, but maybe you need to learn a lot to play it. It gets more difficult as you want to play through. Cool thing, it has bosses. So our next game is called Tiny Turnup, and it's actually a very simplistic game, not that much difficult. I like the game. It doesn't have a lot of amazing art. Let's see, but the art is very good. It serves its purpose. So you basically like a Turnup who wishes to have arms or something, and you basically go and climb. So it's not very difficult to start with. You basically use the crank to move both hands, and then you lose. This is weird for me. Okay, you have to use B instead of using the D-pad. You have to hold B, and then you have to like climb everywhere. You move the arms with the crank, and you hit B. It's not very difficult to start with, but I think as more as you play, it gets more difficult. Honestly, it felt quite boring for me. I didn't like it much. It's a little bit, felt like a chore more than a video game. Like you have to go here, have to go there. Felt more like a chore than a video game. But yeah, if you like this, it's pretty cool, I guess. This cool game is called Chance's Lucky Escape. It has a lot of cool art. So this game has a lot of cool in-depth art, and I think it was more done by an artist. The artist paid a lot of work to this, more than the gameplay. The gameplay is basically you're in a comic or something. So it's like a comic thing. It's a point-and-click adventure. It's like those old computer games where you have to like pick stuff and then click stuff. I think the story is about some guy who robbed something, or I don't know, the police is after you. So basically use this mouse and you try to solve these puzzles. The game says that there are a couple of things that you can use to solve puzzles. You can use the crank to solve some puzzles, like this puzzle needs the crank, and I think some puzzles will also use the mic, which I haven't seen any other game uses, which is pretty cool. Now the next game in the lineup is called Black Hole Havoc, and this game is freaking amazing. It's very simple, okay? The game is very simple, but it's actually has one of the coolest cutscenes to start with. Look at this cutscene. I'm gonna let you watch it. The artist here paid a lot of attention to the artwork, and it's really beautiful. And yeah, there's a story where basically there's like black holes that are appearing everywhere, and it has very simple mechanic, but it's very addicting. It's one of those games that are really addicting, and you just scroll through the levels very fast. Pretty beautiful. So you have to create these black holes the same level and the same direction of the black holes that are already existing, and by shooting them together, you're actually destroying the other black hole. So if you shoot a black hole too small or too big, unfortunately you're gonna get hit a lot and you'll be destroyed. But the cool thing about this game, it has a lot of amazing death sequence and animation. Pretty cool game. Next game in the lineup is actually my highly anticipated game, which is called Tari and Como. And this game is like a platformer game. I think the Playdate needed this game. This is one of the games that are beautifully designed. The artwork is really beautiful, and it's a game that uses the crank. Also, it has some story here. There's like a robot and a person here going together to discover something. It has like this old, like jungly, like robot kind of dystopian place. The artwork is really beautiful. So this game being a platformer, I really like. I haven't played any good platformer games on the Playdate, and this game has a lot of beautiful visuals. So the game, sometimes you'll feel like it's stuttering, but it's actually not stuttering. This is the background doing this weird thing because it has a lot of details on this 1-bit screen. But the game is really beautiful. You traverse through these platforms, and you actually can use the robot in order to move to different places. So once you are close to these circle things, you latch your robot into that, and yeah, you pull your character. It's pretty cool mechanic. The game is designed very well, and yeah, it's very cool. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and if you like this video, if you are getting season 2, that's pretty cool. See you in the next one. Hit the like button and subscribe.